You can see the yellow and the orange there, the alert system showing how much of the country there will be hit by this cold snap. In the orange warning area from eastern Alberta all the way to the Maritimes, extreme freezing temperatures are on the way, approaching minus 40 degrees at night in New Brunswick, Quebec and Ontario. Parts of Ontario also facing snow squall warnings, but the situation could be even more dangerous for people in the prairies.
It's kind of hard for our purposes to visually represent what the weather's going to look like, because it's mainly going to be cold and windy. There's no snow necessarily to show you or anything like that. But if you step outside in any of the affected regions, you're certainly going to feel it. Let's bring that map up again that Linda just showed you to show you the various weather alerts across the country. All of Saskatchewan, all of Manitoba subject to those Environment Canada orange warnings for cold. Orange, more severe than the yellow you're seeing around it, but also eastern Alberta, part of it there, parts of Ontario and Quebec as well. We'll get into those. But focusing in on Saskatchewan, they are looking at wind chill values between minus 40 and minus 50 at the peak of all this, a multi-day episode of this, as Environment Canada calls it. Yesterday in Regina, provincial officials announced an extra $1.1 million in funding for 3 community groups to operate a new warming center and expand 2 existing ones. And then in Manitoba, cold and windy as well, with wind chill values also like Saskatchewan between minus 40 and minus 50. Their shelter system in Winnipeg specifically already at capacity in many ways. They expect it to get even more crowded. Let's look at some of the other warnings across the country. You've got eastern Alberta, as mentioned earlier. They are expecting wind chill values that could drop down to minus 45. Southern Quebec possibly down to minus 40. And all of New Brunswick affected with warnings that their temperatures could drop down somewhere between minus 30 and minus 37.
And Ontario is not getting spared by this cold snap either.
No, yeah, there are some estimates that Ontario could end up being, today and tomorrow, the coldest place on Earth. People comparing it to Siberian winter conditions. Northwestern Ontario, you're looking at wind chill values between minus 40 and minus 48. Even colder, closer to Hudson Bay. Central and eastern Ontario are looking at wind chill values down to possibly minus 45. And then, as Linda mentioned a little earlier, a snow squall warning in effect for parts of southern Ontario that could bring 15 to 30 centimeters of snow, as well as reduced visibility, heavy and blowing snow. It is not going to be pretty. Of course, there's also a risk of frostbite, so you want to make sure that you, the kids and the pets, are covered up as well. A lot to be concerned with here. Take a couple days off. If you could stay inside somewhere warm, if you're fortunate enough to be able to do so, do so.